out to me, who's gonna stop me? Yeah. You know I got shout out to me, who's gonna stop me? I can't look around with my head down. Gotta keep my head up cause the devil's alive. No break to see who's inside of me. People know what's the point of me? I got one hand again. Let the spirit feel my movement. Walking faith and I'm walking in victory. We got the power, yeah, we got the victory. Go through the suffering, we got the victory. When it's all finished, yeah, we got the victory, 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 victory. Hey, biggest shout out go to Christ, the truth and the way and the life. Yeah, remember the cost of eternity. He paid the price for us. Shed his blood and he died for us. So I'm a living for him. All I know is that we made me. It's already done. Tell the devil we already won. Pass me the mic and you know I'm a priest. There's freedom in me when the spirit release. I know Christ at the right hand of God in the seat. He living in you and you living in me. Used to stumble in darkness, how hardly could see. Started reading his word as a light for my feet. One way ticket to heaven, no going back. No surprise at the end, cause I told you that. Once we break through the demons, I'm sure the pad. I'm gonna receive it if Jesus is the pain of man. Ain't no see it, I gotta say no to that. Ain't no more sugar coated, ain't no man. Ain't no more condemnation for my family in Christ. We got eternal life, people know life. What's the point of me? I got one in me. Let the spirit fill my life. Walking faith and I'm walking in victory. We got the power, yeah, we got the victory. Go through the suffering, we got the victory. When it's all finished, yeah, we got the victory, 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 victory. Hey, biggest shout out go to Christ, the truth and the way and the life. Yeah, remember it comes from eternity. He paid the price for us. Shed his blood and died for us. So I'm a living for him. All I know is that we made me. It's already done. Tell the devil we already won. Already, I know Christ coming back, but we already trying to tell him and then it's the last day, trying to tell him and then it's the last day. And you ain't on this joke, trying to throw on the rope. Feeling like, no, I just want to start on the boat. So he's trying to float, yeah, I can't beat nobody. What's the point of me? I got one in me. Let the spirit fill my whole body. Walking faith and I'm walking in victory. We got the power, yeah, we got the victory. Go through the suffering, we got the victory. When it's all finished, yeah, we got the victory, 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 victory. Biggest shout out go to Christ, the truth and the way and the life. Yeah, remember the cost of eternity. He paid the price for us. Shed his blood and he died for us. So I'm a living for him. All I know is that we made me. It's already done. Tell the devil we already won.
In Washington.
Devil ain't feeling like this. Yeah. Cause I know stuff for the king. Yup. Stuff. Yup. Alright. Okay. Living in sin, but you say you a Christian, huh? I'm confused what it even means. The Bible's so true, but they treat it like fiction. Which side you want, cause they know in between. My family in Christ for the step of the kingdom. We deep like the Navy, the Army, Marine. The nation been getting so crazy, but good thing we don't serve the president, we serve the king. No, I ain't living in vanity, but that man is a mirror so handsome and clean. Made in his image, the Lord is my pot, so I'm thanking my father, he gave me the gene. Man, I was just headed for hell, I'm so thankful for Christ, cause he came in and he intervened. All I know is Jesus ain't never took us from no devil, so you better pick the right team. Boy, I came a long way, I can't look back no more. I can carry that gas in my book bag no more. Used to walk in the class, I'm smelling like smoke. Used to sit and be laughing like hell is a joke. I was speaking myself, but he threw me the room. Listen, I trust in Christ, I don't trust in the pole. Man, watch what you read, cause you read what you sow. Shooting shots at the devil, that's my only foe. I'm finna put him on ice. I'm finna cut him on ice. Matter of fact, I'm for a bag. If you don't want smoke, you can take it over Christ. Yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling right. Look at the heart, this is right. My homies ain't how they done, but they out in the field with their message of life. Say, birds of a feather, gon' follow the flock. Used to look like a square trying to be on the block. I had holes in my shoes way before I was crying. I'm gonna give up my life way before I'm style. You can't play the game cause I got it all out. Jesus broke off the chains, I'm so watching them drop. Watch the whole piece of heaven, pull up like a SWAT. That is all that I need, really all that I got. It's just to make sure you listening. Devil be lurking, so watch what was you tripping and I took a dip in that water. I'm just like, come on, where I say no, no more. I don't carry that gas in my book bag no more. Used to work in the class, I'm smelling like smoke. Used to say that he laughing like I was a joke. I was speaking my sin, but he threw me the room. Listen, I trust in Christ, I don't trust in the pole. I don't watch what you read, cause you read what you sow. You want shots at the devil, that's my only fault. I'm finna put on ice. I'm finna cook on rice. Matter of fact, I'm for a bag. If the devil wants smoke, he can tell you I'm a Christ. Yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling right. Look at the harvest is right. My homies ain't holding guns, but they out in the field with that message of life.
Let me see. All right, all right. Looky here, looky here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, all right. Look, this is my first time doing this like this. Normally, I have like a background, but that's all right though. That's all right. I have a background for the next show. I'm sorry because I tried to pay a bill today on this
That's
app,
okay.
but it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Well, welcome, my friend. I'm glad that you is here this evening with me. You know what I'm saying? And everybody that's watching, because I know that everybody should be on, should subscribe to the link right now. I hope that they are. You know what I'm saying? Because right now I'm on YouTube. It's not connected to the Facebook, but it is what it is.
You
You know
can
what I'm
connect
saying?
it to the Facebook.
I can't connect it to the Facebook because I don't have, because the app that I'm on, I didn't pay the bill.
Oh,
So,
okay. Okay.
yeah. So,
That's okay.
so right now I'm just chill. I'm chilling like right now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, yeah.
real talk. So welcome, Miss Shalonda, if I'm saying your name right, Shalonda.
Shalanda,
You
yeah.
know, you know what I'm saying? Let everybody know who you is and what you came to discuss this evening.
I guess it's my name's Shalanda. I come from a background like an indigenous background, and I have a lot of lived experience with like intergenerational trauma and complex PTSD.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Uh,
okay, okay.
so I guess I kind of came on here to bring awareness to that.
Wow, that is awesome that you are bringing awareness to to the world. You know what I'm saying? Not just to yourself and to those of what's the word I'm trying to look for, those of your culture, but to the world though. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And like from what I've learned, the only one that I know that have like kind of affects PTSD is you. Like you the only one that I know of that has that. What how did you know that you first was diagnosed with it?
So I was diagnosed with complex PTSD 7 years ago. Um, Originally, what had happened was I started having uh, breakdowns at work um, for short periods of time. So I was getting taken off work for a month at a time here and there. But
Mm-hmm.
originally, I was diagnosed with severe anxiety and severe depression.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until I started seeing a psychologist, and she was certified in residential school therapy. So, residential school therapy is essentially like you know the impacts of residential schooling systems and how
Mm-hmm.
they impact generations of a family, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Based
Of
on
course.
the kinds of trauma that get passed on in the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because she was educated in that, and I was opening up about, what I had experienced as a child, it basically fit the bill of um, complex PTSD based on there's this test that one of them do. It's called the ACEs test, which is it
Okay.
stands for adverse childhood experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 10 questions long, and it's based on adversities in your childhood under the age of 18. And
Okay.
the more yeses you have on that, the more likely it is you do have complex PTSD.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is that's my first time hearing about this, man. Besides you sharing your story with me way before the show. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and it's funny because when you share stuff, and I see you share stuff, not just on this platform, but on the platform that we be on. And when you share your story, it seems like that folks gravitate to you.
Yeah.
Like, like I feel like just by me from the outside look in, that they need to hear your story, because they may be going through the same thing, or they may want to learn something because they may have somebody that has this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
and that's something too, like with complex PTSD, you can actually pass it on to people around you.
mm, oh, okay. See,
If
I
it's
never.
not in check, your behaviors and your mannerisms, when you put that on to other people, you can actually cause people to develop complex PTSD.
Really. So, my question is, so what are the behaviors, if you don't mind me asking? Like,
So I
how do
mean,
you know, or how do that
like
person know?
complex PTSD stands for complex post-traumatic stress disorder, right?
Hmm.
When you
Yeah.
hear post-traumatic stress disorder, what do you think of?
Say that one more time.
When you hear post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, what do you think of?
Oh, well, wow. You asking me? I hear of like stress, anxiety. I could think of a lot of stuff.
Do you ever think of like veterans?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
I I see them. I see them like daily on like the street. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. So.
Yeah, and like when we think of like when the media, you know, shows the bad side of PTSD, we're thinking of people that are like, almost killing another person because they're in a flashback or whatever, but what I can say is when someone has PTSD, right? That's exposure to a single event versus complex PTSD, which is generally developed in childhood.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, they y- the severity of the introduction of traumatic events to a person is significantly longer. Like complex PTSD is ongoing regular exposure to traumatic events over long periods of
Mm.
time, right?
Okay.
And
Right.
PTSD is exposure to a single event, right?
Hmm.
So when we're talking about how that affects a person long term, like when you have something like complex PTSD, the
Hmm.
behaviors can be different. Like for me personally, I was a rager, right? So I'd be verbally, emotionally, and sometimes physically abusive to the people around me. And that's how I would pass
Mm.
on. That's how you can pass on those effects of complex PTSD to other people is through that,
Wow.
right? Like for me personally, that's how I behaved. Like I was very angry. My fight response was very active, right? Because we got four responses. There's fight, flight, freeze, or fawn.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's our amygdala, right? That's the part of the brain that has those four responses, and it's the most unevolved part of the brain.
And it's called the who?
Amygdala.
Okay. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. What should folks know about that part of the brain that you think that is important, especially in today's society? You know that we live in 2025, and we living in this time, in this era of technology and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, the amygdala is based on like patterns, cycles, and safety. Like it's responsible for your survival response, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when you're put in a high stress situation, right, your body
Mm-hmm.
is going to prepare to fight, flight, aka run away, freeze, which means completely freeze like a possum would, right?
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
play dead. They play dead when they think they're in danger, right?
Yeah.
That's a freeze response. And then fawn response is basically compliance and submission,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
So when you're faced with a high stress situation, though those four directions is what your body is going to choose. Now, when that is applied to society, I mean, we live in a very unwell society as a whole, I
Yeah.
believe. Like, that's my
Mhm.
own personal belief. I believe we're all very unwell. We all have really bad coping mechanisms. We all have an addiction to dopamine. You know, I believe there's a lot of issues in the world that are caused by broken um coping mechanisms, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. That definitely makes sense in the. Hmm. I can agree with that. Wow. So my so so how do you handle this on an everyday basis?
Well, it's definitely been challenging. I mean, 7 years of going to therapy on a weekly basis is definitely my number one source of treatment. My
Hmm.
second source of treatment would be psychiatric medication to help me level out. A lot of people don't view medication as a good thing. But
Mm.
when you do have problems regulating yourself as a human being, um, I think medication can be a good tool to use, not for the long term, but until you're able to rebuild those coping mechanisms and new pathways in your brain, right? Which is what therapy does.
Hmm. Wow.
Um, and then, you know, con- continuous repetition and practice,
Mm.
you know,
Wow.
being aware of yourself, being aware of your actions, being aware of the people around you, being aware as to whether or not you're being rational or irrational, potentially having people out there that you can ask if you were having an irrational thought by thinking this way, you know,
Hmm.
building support systems. There's a lot of things that one needs to do on a daily basis to
Yeah.
navigate um, an illness like complex PTSD. It's very, it can be very tiring, and sometimes one can feel like extreme hopelessness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So so what so what advice would you give somebody, don't matter the age, right? What's the best advice would you give them, like right now, or for future references if they came across this or know somebody with this?
If I had to give someone advice, it would be to find support. The biggest thing I found that has helped me this far is having a good, solid support system of people
Mm-hmm.
that I can turn to when I'm in a state of crisis.
Mm. Wow. That
You
right
know,
there
your
is good.
your support system is the most important thing you'll have when you struggle with something like that.
Mm-hmm. And you it's right. You know, so I believe that we all have and we all need support. You know what I'm saying? And I know, you know, at times that I joke, got me around when we be on the app, and I say, and I call you Doc, the Bunny, and stuff like that, because that's what you is. You know what I'm saying? Like folks laugh, folks gravitate to you. You know what I'm saying? And I see it, and I know if I was going through something as a man or as a person, you know what I'm saying? I know that I could go to Shalonda. You know what I'm saying? I know that I could inbox her. I know that I could call her. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of folks don't take that time out to listen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of folks not gonna just sit there and be like, uh-huh, okay. All right. Well, this is what you should do. A lot of folks not going to do that. A lot of folks don't have that attention span. Some of them don't have that long type of extension span like you. You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
I think I practice a lot of what is called active listening. And I
Okay.
think a lot of people don't actually actively listen. They
Mm,
only listen to respond a lot of the time, right?
that's good.
And I think the reason why people do that is because they're struggling with their own sense of self.
Mm,
It generally means they have never felt like they haven't been they've never felt heard in their life, right?
wow.
So then
Okay.
they don't actively listen to the people around them.
Wow. That's interesting. I never looked at it like that. Look, like what? Huh. You know what I'm saying? That is very important, huh? Wow. And from what you told me and from what you shared, if somebody did not know this in the black community, right? What would you say to them? Because you know that society taught some of us to throw it, you know, to throw it underneath the rug. What advice would you give to the black community that come across this?
Like come across complex PTSD.
Yes.
Again, it's, making sure you get the right diagnosis, first of all, because it's highly misdiagnosed with things like borderline personality disorder, bipolar disorder, and sometimes ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
So it's highly misdiagnosed.
Okay.
The other thing is that it's not in the DSM-5. It's in the ICD-11, which eventually will create will come out with a DSM-6 and they'll have complex PTSD in it. So a psychiatrist actually can't diagnose complex PTSD, but psychologists can.
Hmm. Okay. Wow.
Um, but there's a lot of like, because it's a newer concept in the mental health community and it's something that's newer in regards to treatments and therapies and stuff like that. It's more of it's a brain and a nervous system issue. It's not a chemical issue, right?
Right.
So our brains and our nervous systems, like the nervous system stops growing at 21
Oh
and
wow.
then the brain stops growing at 25, right? So
Okay. Huh.
so in order to, like, if you do think you have complex PTSD and you're under those ages, you have a better chance to create a situation for yourself where you're not stuck in a perpetual loop of the
Wow.
illness, right? Because usually people that have complex PTSD have smaller prefrontal cortexes.
Mm.
And what
Wow.
the prefrontal cortex is, this is the part that controls impulse control, right? So
Mm-hmm.
people with complex PTSD, they have smaller prefrontal cortexes, which causes, you know, more impulsivity, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Wow. My
So
next
I
question
mean, I
is.
think it's important. Like if you're asking me what I would say to the Black community, I'd say, instead of reliving generation after generation of a sickness, develop the awareness, break the cycles, and live a good, healthy, toxic free life.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Wow.
build
Mm-hmm.
build yourself that support system that you need, like of the people that you can trust that care about you and your success in life. Invest in your own success. Don't
I
look for
love that.
happiness outside of yourself, look for happiness within yourself.
Invest in your own success. Wow. You know what, Londa, that's very powerful that you said that. That's something that I need to hear. And it's funny, right? That you said that you say that, right? Because I got my first check to date in 5 months, right?
Yeah.
So I cashed it. Me being the type of person that I am, I was gonna get some clothes for work because we had to have a uniform code. It's like a little dress code. Just wear some nice stuff, wherever. So I went to a Walmart, right? Me and one of my sisters. Come to find out, I couldn't pay for it, and then I tried to go into the ATM, and then something said, "Look at your receipt from the bank." I looked at my receipt. I said, "Oh, I can't use this. I can't use what I have. What I have now because it's in the bank now. I can't use it now, but I can use it tomorrow." And I looked at the date, and it said the 21st, and today's the 20th. I said, "Oh, that must have been a good thing then that I didn't spend it." You know what I'm saying? But I was going to spend it just on work clothes. You know what I'm saying? So when you said that, I was like, that's confirmation. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Like to invest in your own success. You know what I'm saying?
yep. Invest in
Wow.
yourself.
That's very important. You know what I'm saying? Advice that you would give the youth that may be going through this right now. What advice would you give them? You know what I'm saying? And I know that you got a thing like I know for a fact that you got a heart for kids though. Like what would you
Yeah.
tell them?
I mean, to be honest, I think it's important for them to find out what abuse means and what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're suffering from abuse or neglect, or their families have addiction issues, or, you know, they're being treated badly and stuff like that, to seek help,
Mm.
to seek help and tell a safe person, because that is what creates complex PTSD: abuse, neglect, addictions, undiagnosed mental illness, being in a domestically violent situation, um, being in a
Mm.
situation that, you're dealing with jail issues, like there's 10 aspects, right, of
Mm.
adversities that can cause complex PTSD. And if you study and understand what's going on in your household, you can get
Mhm.
yourself the help that you need. Tell a safe
Yeah.
person.
Tell a sick person. Hey,
Yeah.
look, and you is so right. You know what I'm saying? That it's very in in important. You know what I'm saying? It's very important because truth be told, like I think that you is like one of the first one from off of the app to be on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like you
yeah?
is one, yeah, like you is one of the first ones off the app, man, to be on the show. Like that's real funny. Like I don't gravitate to get married by that's like that. That's on the app. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of folks that got a lot of stuff that's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of entrepreneurs that's on the app, but God is so good, and I'm like, I'm I'm gonna sit here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna see, and I see that that one of my bros is on here.
Hey
What's up,
Eric.
man? He's a podcaster too. What's going on with you, my guy? And when I come to your stream, I just sit there and just listen because I learn stuff too, as well as a man. I learn stuff as a black man. You know what I'm saying? And when you talked about what is this is complex PTSD, and
Yeah.
when you talked about it, I actually looked it up and I learned some very interesting stuff, and I'm like, I don't have none of this, but I seen it before, but I didn't know what it was with like in the community or some of my friends had it. I never knew what it was.
Yep.
I and this was me growing up. I'm 37. So me just now just reading what this is and seeing that my friend had this. Somebody I know had this. But I had to educate myself on this. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Because a lot of folks don't educate themselves. And I say that because I have sisters that are nurses and directors of nurse. And I work in a rehab in a rehab center. I do activities. So when I learn something new every day from a nurse or an aide there, I ask, what is this? And they tell me, and I'll be like, it's what? Then they take their time, and then they be like, Breon, is this not the third? Do you have a phone? I'd be like, yeah. They'd be like, well, look it up. You know what I'm saying? Or when you have time, you know what I'm saying? Just read what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, that's real talk. Do anybody have any questions for my friend Shalonda? We are talking about complex PTSD. We is talking about a good topic this evening. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody that's watching like right now. You know what I'm saying? And I think that my bro probably left, but I know that he gonna go and share the stream on his page like right now. It's all good. Look. And I know that he like what like bro doing the show. He ain't do a show in a month. I know. I've been at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so good. You know what I'm saying? Just to have somebody different on here. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that's a friend. You know what I'm saying? And somebody that could give their input on what they know and what they've been through and how they could help somebody else. And it's funny, right? Because I remember that you were sharing your stuff online with me, like
Yeah.
your poems and your books and stuff like that. Next question is, you ever thought about writing a book, about this?
Yes, I am. I'm currently trying to write a book. I
You
have
is.
some steps in it. Like I just finished writing like my story part of it. It's still kind of in the rough draft
Mhm.
section, but I am writing a book. It's an experience journal on my take on how to overcome complex PTSD through certain things like having the vocabulary, having the
Mm,
awareness, being
mm,
able to pre-plan, being able to advocate, being able to have a sense of exposure, which would ultimately lead to overcoming um, the trigger or the pattern or the cycle.
mm. And I like how you word that. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I always admire, Matt, about you is like you so calm with it, like you so chill with it, and you don't mind sharing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because I believe that somebody need this. Somebody need to hear somebody else's story. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I have folks from all walks of life, on my show, you know, and this time that I said, Brian, it's time that you do something different. You know what I'm saying? It's time that you come out of your shell. You know what I'm saying? Because me, I had authors, I had rappers, I had artists, I had folks from my city on here that's doing great things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking nothing. I ain't taking the thing from them. You know what I'm saying? But to have you on here, I know a lot of folks going to be looking this up. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm mad that I can't share it because I'm on StreamYard right now, and this bill got to be paid to tomorrow. Because if this bill was paid today, it would be connected to each platform right now. But I did share it. So look, now I did share it. I made sure that I shared it with everybody on Facebook. Look, I made sure of it. You know what I'm saying? And that right there is amazing. So next question is, what inspires Shalonda every day?
I think the ability to change and grow,
Mm,
you know, like a lot of people have issues with change. I mean, I have issues with change, but I think it's important to know that if you're not uncomfortable, you're not healing.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's kind of my drive every day. Like, I've had moments where I have let go of my hope and, have felt like, this isn't it anymore. But, my drive to want to help other people and help them understand something about themselves that they may not even realize they have, right? Like, I
Mm.
walked around for 31 years of my life feeling like I was basically brainwashed and thinking that negativity and toxic cycles and chaos was just a normal part of life,
Wow.
you
Mm.
know. And now that I am out of that brainwashed state and rebuilding pathways in my brain and stuff like that, it's I think the the ability to change and grow is really what drives me and inspires me every day.
Maybe dang.
Yeah.
Okay. That is awesome, man. You know what I'm saying? And the more that we talk, it's like the not. I'm just not knowing a friend of mine. I'm actually knowing a sister of mine. You know what I'm saying? That we can actually talk outside of of our norm. You know what I'm saying? And talk
Yeah.
about stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm always in your stream, because I like to talk about real things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love to talk about real things, like stuff that makes sense. I also like to learn. You know what I'm saying? Because I may need this in the future. I may need this technique. You know what I'm saying? Or I may need this as a reference to revisit. Yeah, I mean, again, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to be sure, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real talk. Like, I'm waiting on the book. I'm waiting on the journal, and I know that it's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I've noticed about you, one thing that I learned, on this journey with you, you know what I'm saying, that when you want to get stuff done, you actually do it. You know what I'm saying? You actually do it. Like you don't care. You just go and do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I admire about that. That's what I admire about you. Like,
Thank
you
you.
just do it. Nah, no, like, I'm dead ass. Like, you just do it. And I don't give, man, and I don't give everybody that that them kind of flowers, man, unless they really like deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
And I think that's what a lot of folks should do. Like, a lot of folks should recognize what they have
I
and
feel
treat.
like I feel like a lot of people don't live authentically to themselves.
Wow, wow, man. So can you explain that? Wow,
Like,
that's
I feel like we take society's view on where we're supposed to be in life and what we're supposed to have and how we're supposed to live and look and do all of this. I think we take other people's opinions of us too
mm,
far into uh ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, instead of being like, this is who I am, this is what I
right.
like, this is what I don't like, this is how I'm going to live. We play
Mm,
into society's views of us, which ends up dictating how we live our lives, you
yeah,
know?
right. Yeah. You right. You is so right. You know about that, man. You is so right about that. The and when I was getting my self, like, prepared, like, I didn't know what kind of questions that I was gonna ask, but when I just could just talk to my guests, I just trust God, because I feel like that this was a divine time, a divine moment. You know what I'm saying? To actually sit down, you know what I'm saying, and just chat. You know,
I agree. I agree. Yep.
like that's that's real talk. You know, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, uh, what advice have somebody? What's the best advice that someone had gave you?
The best advice I ever got was at the very beginning of my journey, which was when you go to therapy, it gets worse before it gets better.
Wow. Can you say that one more
So
time?
when you go to therapy, it gets worse before it gets better, right? So
Wow.
essentially, you have to be so honest with yourself and so real about the things that are going on in your life that it's actually quite painful to go through, you know, like when you're trying to recover from something, it's not sunshine and roses, you know, it's not an easy path. It can get pretty lonely. And you know, that's why I believe a lot of people fail, right?
Mm.
Is because it when it gets excruciatingly lonely, it's painful, right? And it sometimes it doesn't feel like it's even worth continuing on,
Wow.
right? So I mean, when it comes to recovery, like being as real and honest but not judgmental and super gentle with yourself in the process is important, right?
Yeah.
So when I first heard that, you know, it gets worse before it gets better, I never
Mhm.
really understood what that meant until I started actually going through that process. And that was I'm gonna say that was the best pieces of advice I ever got when it came to my recovery journey.
Mm. Wow. So on this journey, right? What's the best advice can you give somebody now that you're on the journey and they probably just started theirs or they are somewhere in the middle of their journey?
The most important thing is to have a good team, right? A good, like I was saying before, like a good form of support, right? That's going to be
Mhm.
your most important situation. Like when I'm in a state of crisis, my
Mhm.
crisis plan is to go down to my family's and stay there because I can shut down. I don't have to worry about cooking. I don't have to worry about cleaning. I don't have to worry about anything because I can't handle that amount of stress, that amount of daily stress when I'm in crisis mode, right? So I
Mhm.
can go down there and then they take care of me while I'm there, right? As long
Mm.
as I need it, right? So that's a part of my crisis plan,
Okay.
right? So that's how I utilize my levels of support. You know, I go to therapy weekly. That's another form of support. You know, I take medications daily. That's another form of support. I speak to a psychiatrist and I'm completely and 100% transparent and honest with them at all
Yeah.
times, right?
At, at all times. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like
very important.
so I mean, if you're struggling, the first thing you really need to do is create a platform of support for yourself.
Mm. Yeah. That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. That is something that I definitely believe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what's next for Londa? If you don't mind me asking, what's next for her?
To be honest, I think what's next for me is just writing the book, continuing on in my, like, I'm a peer mentor in a group that, I'm a part of with my therapist and a registered psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
We're helping the community in ways of dialectical behavioral therapy, which um
What's that?
really, sorry.
And I said, what is that?
So dialectical behavioral therapy has four pillars that it is built on, which is mindfulness.
Mm,
So knowing, like, having the awareness to be mindful of your actions and your reactions and all of that stuff, right?
mm-hmm.
Um there's interpersonal effectiveness, so building relationships and maintaining relationships in a
Okay.
healthy way. There there's emotional dysregulation and distress tolerance.
Mm,
So handling stressful situations, right? Emotional dysregulation or emotion regulation talks about regulating your emotions. So you're
mm,
not super high, you're not super low, right?
okay.
And then distress tolerance, like I said, is how you handle stressful situations. It's building awareness to help you be successful in life when it comes to navigating your mental health when it's offline or emotionally flooded.
That right there is awesome.
Yeah.
That that is good. That is real, real good. And you know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's something to think about.
So I
That is
think, like,
something to
when
think about.
you ask me what's next for me, it's just, I wanted to go to school. I had, you know, a realistic conversation with my psychiatrist. He'd only put me in one class a semester, so school isn't gonna be a thing in my future, right? And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with doing something in the community and focusing on my book. And that's what I'm doing until the next however long. You know, that's my plan. Live a
Right.
simple, stress-free life and
As you
continue
should.
my recovery journey.
And it's not is and you know what, Londa, ain't it's nothing wrong with that at all. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that one bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that somebody needs this. Somebody need to hear your story because one thing that I've realized, everybody is on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is on Facebook. And and this is shared on Facebook. It's shared even on my page. I know it's on your page too because I tagged you in it. So look, folks going to see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Folks going to see it, and I believe by the Spirit of God, this is what He had wanted. I had to step out of my shell. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, this is different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna give you the words to say and the things to ask. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, somebody need this. I may need it. I don't know. But I know if somebody that's listening to me and you right now, I believe that we just saved somebody's life by this show. You know what I'm saying? From what you know, and for who I believe in, you know what I'm saying? Like it goes hand to hand. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The tools, the beliefs, the support, you know, the culture. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of folks not used to seeing somebody that's black, somebody that's from, you know, from America, somebody that's from PA. You can't get more, American than that. You know what I'm saying? And you from being up north in Canada. I know
Yeah.
that they probably like, if these two worlds can collide like this, you know what I'm saying, and just sit down and talk. What else can we do?
Oh, we
You
could
know,
we can accomplish a lot in life.
we can accomplish a lot. That's what I'm
But I
saying.
think we're our own worst enemy. We hold ourselves back because we're emotionally damaged people that aren't healed, and we're running around in the world trying to live life, but we're succeeding and not succeeding at the same time, you know?
That makes sense. Yes, yes, yes. That right there makes some good sense. You know what I'm saying? Wow. You know what? And you said a lot this evening too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And like I said, somebody need this, man. Like a lot of folks probably won't probably comment, but a lot of folks got that link though. And
yeah.
before that I got on, right? It probably was like a half hour, 45 minutes before I got on, right? I told folks, yo, tune in this evening. I have the link down there on my live right now, still on my live. Yo, join in. I told them I'm not gonna have this is not gonna be on Facebook. It's gonna be on YouTube. So I'm gonna give y'all the link to the YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube link. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to YouTube link. You ain't got to subscribe me. Watch the show. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we here for. We here to do the work of God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We are here to reach every last one, every last person, man, boy, girl, mom, dad, brother, sister, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle. You know what I'm saying? Cousins, friend, whoever. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you the first one to actually be on the show from the app.
That
So
makes
what
me
does
feel special.
so so what does that tell you? Look, what does that tell you? You know what I'm saying? That right there is amazing. Like that just made my heart just smile, and my heart don't smile for her for you got married body. You know what I'm saying? So like I definitely like I appreciate the time. Truth be told, this hour that me and you had put in this evening, it's about to be 6 o'clock where I'm at. Look, it's about to be six where I'm at. You
Only
know,
4 o'clock for
look,
me.
who asked you? Look, who asked you? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it's all about, man. It's about having fun, man.
Yeah.
It's about just talking to the people and everything. If you could live by a quote every day, what will it be and why that quote?
I think if I could live by a quote, it would be the one that is, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not healing.
Ooh, I
You
I
know,
like that. I like that.
I do believe that, in order to heal, you have to be uncomfortable.
Hmm. Right.
Um, because comfort gets you into places where you don't necessarily want to stay forever,
Hmm.
when you're overly comfortable with something. So I I feel like I strive by the if you're not uncomfortable, you're not healing, just because like that is my gauge in life to help me understand whether or
Mm,
not I'm living in toxicity or living in health.
mm, wow. And it's funny because I literally just posted that. and I'm about to tag you in there too. Yup. Wow. That right there is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they're gonna be like, what? Yeah. Like we having like real talks. Like this is what we do. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of folks don't have real talks like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just it's just don't. What what do you think the world is missing today? What do you think the world is missing? Three important things. What do you think the world is missing?
The legitimate want for people to be successful in life.
Mm, okay.
I feel like that's like, I think a lot of people like the idea of people being successful in life. And when I say successful, I'm talking about like no more homelessness, mental health
Mm,
being taken care of,
mm,
people actually caring and wanting to help each other, like
yeah.
not for like attention, not for money, not for any of that, but just legitimately wanting to help each other out.
Yeah.
We live in a world where it's every man for himself, and we're not built like that. We're built for connections.
Yeah. You is so right about that. You know what I'm saying? I totally understand what you saying too. Wow. Guys, she spent this hour with us this evening here, but it's it's what for where you at? She spent this evening. Yeah, I could say that now because it's past 2 o'clock. Where she at? Look, I could say this evening. Guys, my friend, she spent the evening with us. She came to K.W.U. and she shared her story. You know, guys, she was actually kind of nervous. I told her, don't be nervous. Mm-mm. It's just talking. Just how you talk on stream. We look. This is still a stream. It don't matter what platform it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We is doing what we have to do, man. You
Yeah.
know, and during this time, like I said, I feel as though that folks needed to hear this. You know what I'm saying? And I was letting folks know if I have a show throughout the week, it's because I'm off. But I done found a schedule though, Londa, to do my show now. It's every other weekend now because I'm off every other weekend. So
Nice.
that's I'm gonna start doing my show now every other weekend.
I mean,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
look, man, every other weekend. Like, why not? You know what I'm saying? Oh man, wow! This right here is amazing, and I thank God just for this time. If anybody don't know what K.W.U stands for, man, it stands for kicking it with us. And my friend, she kicked it with us this evening. Do you got any encouraging words for anybody that's watching before we be up on out of here?
I think it's important to let people know that they're not alone in their struggle, that there are people that are struggling just as much as they are, and that are understanding to what you're going through. And it's not an easy path, but it's worth it if you're willing to walk through the shit, literally speaking.
Mm,
Like if you're willing to walk through the shit, it's worth it. You know what I mean?
hmm Wow. If you're willing to walk through the shit, that's what she said, yo.
Yep.
Look, you know what I'm saying? Wow, that right there is amazing, and I'm letting you know right now, you did a great job, truth be told, because I believe that everybody needed to hear this. You know what I'm saying? Do
Thank
anybody
you
have?
so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Do anybody have any questions? I know y'all gonna have some a little later on. So my next question is, how could they reach you? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you leave your information on her, or can you leave it in the chat, or do you want me to put it in the chat? Well, you
Uh,
already,
I
yeah.
can put it in the chat.
Okay, can you do that?
Yeah.
Man, this is Dr. Shalonda, y'all. I don't care what
Not
nobody
a
says.
doctor.
Look. Look. All right, man, I'm done. Look, I called it like I called it like I said on stream, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I called it like I said on stream. I can't help it.
So I'm just gonna put Bunny Bun Buns on Instagram.
All right, and it's in the chat, y'all. It's definitely in the chat, like right now, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I hope that y'all enjoy y'all evening, man. K.W.U podcast, man. I'm back. Uh, season 5 is almost done. I can't wait for season 6. But that first week, though, I know that I'ma take a break, though. You know what I'm saying? From the podcast, probably for like a week or two. I don't know yet. Probably like a week though. And get back to everything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I realized, Londa, Wayne, you
What's
do
that?
a lot. Wayne, you do like a lot of things, right? You need a break, and I needed a
Oh
break from
yeah.
the. I need a break from the podcast. Sometimes I need a break from from writing. What up, Lee Ski? Wow, man, look, man, okay. What up, Lee Ski? Is that Lee Ski from the app? All right, but yeah, what's going on, man? Wow, look, God got somebody from the app just checking in. Let's
Fuck
let's
yeah.
look, let's go. You feel me? What's up, bro? What's good with it? But yeah. Oh man, you just missed a great show. But yeah, man. But as I was saying, like it's so amazing. You know what I'm saying? And as a Leesky, I got Buns here with me. She's a guest on my show this evening, bro. Yeah. Look, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like it's just amazing to like share this information, like to know that you're not alone at all. Like you have folks like Lana. You have folks like like Breon. That have these type of platforms to hear your story. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And today we talked about complex PTSD. A lot of things that folks don't talk about.
Yep.
You know, and they got a lot to do with the brain, with the small part of the brain. You said,
Well, it has to do with the brain and the nervous system.
and the nervous system.
Uh,
There you go.
the one part I was talking about is is the amygdala, and that's responsible for like our survival responses such as fight, flight, freeze, and fawn.
Mm,
So the amygdala is essentially the part that's programmed to put you into survival mode, right? And when you're dealing with a lot of different kinds of traumas, abuse, stuff like that as a child, it programs the amygdala to respond in certain situations. And then when you grow up and you become an adult, that those responses aren't normal responses. So you're reacting in not normal ways to say a safe situation, but because someone smelled a certain way, someone sounded a certain way, someone had a body language movement or whatever, it set you off, right? And put you into survival mode because your body believes it's unsafe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
essentially the part that gets broken when you've gone through uh, regular ongoing exposure to traumatic events over long periods of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're a child and you're in those foundational, um, those key moments of growth, like you're building a foundation about what's true in the world, what's not true in the world, what's safe, what's not safe. Like your whole belief system is being built when you're little, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Wow. Do anybody have any questions? Cause Lee Ski done came in at the last minute. Bro, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions before we get up on out of it? And we did great too. Wow. Huh. And this the first show in a month that I did. This the first show with somebody off the app. What? I did good. We did good. We did great. But yeah,
thank
man.
you so much for having me on the show.
Look, thank you. I wish the background could have been a lot better, but bills gonna be paid tomorrow though. Look, bills are gonna be paid tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning. Listen, you feel me? Look, listen, tomorrow morning. I
Yeah,
gotta get
yeah.
a whole, I gotta get a whole new I gotta get a new phone and I gotta pay this app bill for the next show. Look, I gotta get a nice little set for like work. Like we got this little dress code. Hey bro, I appreciate you for being here, man. Man, it's a shocking that you here, man. I got two of y'all from the app that's here, man. I appreciate it. If nobody don't know what K.W.U it stands for kicking it with us. And my friend Shalonda, she's on this side. She came and kicked it with us this evening. Y'all need to go and check out everything, man. Y'all need to check out the previous shows. Y'all need to hit her up because she got some jewels just for y'all. You'd be surprised what she talk about. She's just not a pretty face. Yeah, I mean, she got a brilliant mind. She's very
Oh,
smart.
thank you.
Nah. From what I see, she's very smart. And Leesky said that he will. Leesky, you know how I find her. I know you've seen her in the stream a few times. That's Bunny Buns. That's what you know
Yep.
her as. If you ever see her,
Yeah.
like that's real talk. Thank you, Shalonda. I will see you later on stream. All right.
All right. Sounds good. You have a great day.
All right. Peace.
Okay. Bye.
See you. All right, y'all. That was K.W.U podcast, man. Until next time, y'all. I mean, be safe. God bless. See y'all next time. All right. Peace.
Yeah, I'm gonna give all glory to God in this. Glory to God. Amen. Glory to God. I'm gonna see it. Hey, glory to Jesus Christ. You know how I. Amen. Amen. Let's go. All right, let's go. Hey, yeah. I pray to God only hear me stand. Yeah, glory to Yahweh, you got it, they hear it. I'm in the Bible, I feel like a fish in my fish. I'm black and I feel like a squish. And I wonder these demons don't play with them. Lift out preaching the word, my brothers and sisters. Like a change. God, change up on the way that I'm living. Ready. New lane, yeah, gotta say my life to all of the sin. I teach it, I read it, I turn it to sermon. I'm thankful to God for wisdom in the sermon. Glory to God for the things that He working. I'm teaching our life, so I know that you heard. I feel like a bishop. Put down the Glock and I pick up the scripture. Now one of these demons don't play with them niggas. Preaching the word to my brothers and sisters. No water it down, so you know I ain't kidding. Let them know exactly how it's been. Preach everywhere, but we can't buy some feelings. Then I love it, boys, you gon' business. Son of God, He the one that I knew. God with me, you can be with me. Live out of that every time that we preach. I'm a preacher across until I'm underneath. Only one is His title. Fighting with Jesus like I'm a disciple. Praying to Yahweh, we do not face idols. Live out of that when I'm preaching the Bible. I need Jesus. Heart will come like a demon. My Father, you want my spirit. I'm glad that I did it. Casting away the fears. We do it in power of Jesus. You know how to do it. Then we feel it, we clear it. Holy, holy, got spirit. The way that we feel it. If it ain't God, I don't need it. The way that I'm feeling, they say I'm dreaming. Thank you. Oh, wait, God. I pray to God only He understands space. His name, yeah. Glory to Yahweh, the God of the heavens. I read this Bible, I feel like a bitch. My bitch, I'm black and I feel the description. I want any demons don't play with a bitch. I'm teaching the words, my brothers and sisters. Like a change, yeah. Gotta change up on the way that I'm living. I'm praying. New lane, yeah. Gotta say my life to all of the sin. I preach it, I read it, I turn it to sermon. I'm thankful to God for wisdom in the sermon. Glory to God for the things that He working. I'm preaching out loud, so I know that you heard me. That is the truth. They lead at you crazy, they like with you. I'm telling you now that Yahweh is the truth. They say that I'm tripping, but no, this ain't no Father God will prevail. Keep loving the world and your future is there. There's only one God, and the next not there. No, that's not God. The real God is Yahweh. Every time that we preach, we spin straight fast. Got a different soul next to me under the tag. I'm committed to Christ, and He got my whole bed. And I'm at the place, I'm gonna win. Everybody gonna say it's gonna be easy, but you gotta let go so free. I mean, they wanna be safe, but you gotta stop sitting. So go see the Lord, no Jesus. Praise Yahweh, praise Yahweh, amen. Praise Yahweh, amen. Praise Jesus Christ, amen. Still God, it's just God. Hey, praise God. You know what I'm one God. Hallelujah. Hey, oh wait, yeah. I pray to God only He understands His face. His name, yeah. Glory to Yahweh, the God of the heavens. I'm reaching the Bible, I feel like a bishop. I put down the Glock and I pick up the scripture. Now one of these demons gonna play with them. Then I'm preaching the word of my brothers and sisters. Glory to God. Amen.